Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm with a very special guest, my friend Bella. She's going to share her story of how she went from Manila to Kyoto to eventually Tokyo. So I hope you guys get a lot of information out of this because I feel like her story is quite unique. She took her undergrad and master's in Japan and she also found her first job here. And soon she'll actually be going back to the Philippines. But
temporarily.
Yeah, as an expat. So it's very exciting. And yeah, let's jump right in.
So hi, I'm Bella. I studied in Kyoto University for undergrad and also for my master's, and then now I'm here in Tokyo working as a civil engineer in a construction company. Like even before I thought of Japan, I already wanted civil engineering, so I think that was my main priority. Parents both lived here, my mom studied here and then my dad worked here. So Japan has always been in our lives, you know. Japan has always been our second home. So I knew that I was eventually gonna study here, and then my mom actually was the one who found my course. So she was looking for international programs for civil engineering here in Japan, and then she found the one in Kyoto University. Because I also told them that I wanted to study here for masters.
Oh, okay.
But she was the one who found it for undergrad. Because yeah, I think in the Philippines, a lot of people are already studying in Japan for masters, right?
Right,
It's not uncommon. Yeah, there are a lot of mixed scholars from the Philippines here in Japan. At that time, it wasn't common for students to go straight from high school to Japan. It was a bit difficult during my time because I was still part of the old program, the non-K-12 program. Like I had to tell them, oh, I can study there even though I only had 10 years of education, because I had to prove to them that I had enough education.
Oh.
But that's not an issue anymore right now, I guess, because
the K-12 program
solves that. So I had that preliminary verification. They had to check all of my educational background, so my transcripts and all of that. As for the application itself, I took the exam SATs because you need subject tests. You need the SAT subject test, so I took for chemistry, physics, and math.
Oh, so it's just like applying to an American university.
I'm not sure if they changed the requirements because there's actually also a Japanese version of that. It's called the EJU, or Examination to Japan University. So it's the same. It's also chemistry, physics, and math, but it's way harder.
Oh yeah.
So I just took both in case.
Just in case. Wow. Covering your bases.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did better on the SATs, but the EJU was what helped me get my scholarship. And then they also require the English level exam. So IELTS, TOEFL. I took TOEFL at that time. I think those three. And then the application itself. It depends on the universities that you're applying to. So the requirements really depend on your course also. Like for example, I'm in engineering, so I needed to take those exams like physics, chemistry, math. The process was a bit longer than that for me because the exams, like the EJU, I took it around February. And also because at that time, this one is like an important point.
Okay.
The difference in the academic calendar. You have to take note of that.
Okay.
I had to do one semester in UP because I could not apply directly from high school because our high school graduation was in end of April. My advice would be, it's the same also for US universities, or universities like abroad in general. You really have to take note of the scheduling, the difference in the academic calendars. I was in UP August 2015. That was also when I started submitting documents. And then November 2015, that's when I got the notification that I was accepted.
Oh, okay.
And then April 2016 was when I moved.
I think you mentioned before that there was an interview process.
Yeah. So for me, November was when they told me that I passed all of the screening, like based on the EJU, SAT exams, TOEFL. I passed it, and then they said that the final step would be an interview. So most of my classmates that came from, for example, Egypt, for their countries, theirs was online. But then for me, one of the professors came to Manila, and then we booked, I remember, a conference room in Holiday Inn in Makati, and then it was an interview process. It was partially technical, so they did ask me engineering questions, but it was also them trying to get to know my personality. So actually, I was thinking about it in comparison with US, and for example, my brother in the UK, because he also had an interview, but his interview was more technical, whereas in the US, all of his interviews and the application is more personal. So I feel like Japan is a mixture of both, based on my experience, where they ask you technical questions, but they also want to get to know your personality. He's a hydrology professor.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, like, he's like a full professor, like several courses during my time there. He was my professor. So the first time I saw him in class, he was like,
I remember you.
Oh
like
I went to Manila for you. Yeah.
Did he have to come to Manila or like
I don't know.
He just wanted
I was
to?
the first one also. So far, no other Filipinos have joined that program after me or before me and after me. So
Seriously?
I was the first one. But after me, they started not recruiting, but like inviting students from high school. Like they asked me, could you introduce us to like your high school so we can get more students there?
Oh,
so
okay.
now there are more people from Pisay that are coming to Japan, to Kyoto University specifically, but it's not civil engineering because there's this new course called International Undergraduate Program where it's not, because ours is specifically civil engineering. It's a separate body. It's an entire program of its own.
Okay.
So it's called the IUP. You enter in September. The first semester is for language, but in the first 2 years you learn in English. But your majors, which start in third year, are in Japanese. I think the requirement was only 12 units. I'm not sure, 12 credits. So it was only 1 year. At that time, I would say I reached N5. After that, it's up to you if you want to continue. I did not continue. I mean, it wasn't required for me because all of our classes were in English. So I did want to prioritize all of my majors. We've been talking about it. It's the language. You know?
Right.
It's really hard. But they do help you. We do have tutors. There's this tutor system. It's like an ate kuya system. That senpai helps you from day one. When you enter the dorm, they're already helping you the next day with your residence, because all of that, you need to process your residence at the city hall. You have to open a bank. So they help, they assign you a partner to help you with all of those things. So it's not that difficult. I would say it was a challenge, but honestly, the admin people, like, I'm so grateful for our admin, because every time I had a problem, every time a mail came into my house and I didn't understand it, I'd be like, please help me. Help me. Like, the people at the university will really help you, especially now that there are more foreigners here. There are more offices, like support offices that would help you with that. The number of subjects, like I was saying, that's why I didn't take classes anymore, like outside the required number of classes that I needed, because I had 14 classes in a week.
Oh my God.
Which is, or in a SEM, like 14 different subjects, which is more than I think what's in the Philippines. At least my time in UP, I only had 5 subjects per SEM, 6 subjects. For us in Kyoto University, I'm not sure, maybe I think it's like this also in other universities here. We had 14 classes and then we would only meet once per week. Whereas in my, like when I was in UP, it was twice in a week.
Right.
So the number of classes that you're taking, it's the same, but the subjects are twice
the amount.
It was really hard during my first semester, but I think I got used to it after figuring out how to manage my time. You only need to fulfill the number of credits, but you can space it out in
a way that's
3 years, 4 years. At least for me, I wanted to finish all of my general education in the first 2 years, so I pushed it all there. That's why I was having a hard time.
Okay,
I was
so
struggling.
It's also self-inflicted.
It
was self-inflicted.
Honestly. I loved it there. Like, I would say, every time someone would ask me, Tokyo or Kyoto, I would say at that time of my life, like that phase, Kyoto was really the best for me, because Kyoto was just such a peaceful place. But like in that environment, we also had a bubble. Kyoto University had its own bubble. It was like a university town. Everyone in that area lived together. Like everyone, all of your neighbors were all from Kyoto University. And then this university would just be a bike ride away. Like everything was just so near. So it was a really great environment, because you were, at least for me, it helped me really focus on my studies. But it was still enough for me to go around, you know, have fun, have a social life. Although I'm not like, maybe it depends on your personality. If you're like a, you know, party girl, or like if you want the night scene, maybe you have to figure that out also. Maybe figure out which university would be good for your personality. I don't go out at night. I sleep at 10. This is something that my classmates were also laughing at me about, because we all lived in the same dorm in the first year. So everyone knows that by 10 o'clock, she's gone. Like
Lights out.
she's not gonna be in the common lounge anymore. It was really easy for us because for my course and for the international courses, they usually place you in an international dorm in the first year. So for the first year, you're guaranteed an apartment. You don't have to worry about that. They're gonna put you in a dorm with all the other foreigners.
Okay.
It's not like the US where you have a roommate. You have your private room. Like everyone has their own room, but the bathroom and the kitchen, those are common. Yeah.
Okay.
So every day we would hang out in the lounge. Also because that was free heating, right?
Right.
Free
Okay.
heater during free aircon or free heater during winter and summer. I think for my career where I am now, it was really good. Like it really helped me, especially with Kyoto University, knowing how it is in terms of the society here, how it is viewed by society. Kyoto University is also one of the top universities here, so it wasn't really, I don't think it would be difficult for you to find a job because Japan is also a place that relies on connections a lot.
Right.
My main advice would just be to first figure out a general idea of what you want in your life, because it might be your course. You might be focused on, this is the course that I want, this is non-negotiable, or this is the life experience that I want, that's non-negotiable. Figure out like what you actually want, and then that's how you decide if Japan is good for you, or if what country to begin with is good for you. If it's the Philippines, if it's going to the US, going to Japan. And then once you figure that out, research a lot. Personally, I had an advantage because I did have good grades during my undergrad.
Okay.
So I didn't have to take the entrance exam.
Oh.
Yeah, so I got that advantage. That's like one of the things that you should
Keep
look
in
for.
mind.
Yeah, look for if there are, those kinds of opportunities, not just for the entrance exam, but even scholarships. If you maintain a certain grade, those are things that you have to maintain, not think about only at the start, but like throughout your 4 years. You have to plan ahead. Before this, I thought of going to Tokyo, University of Tokyo,
Kyodai,
for my master's, but then I was thinking that I've already established connections in Kyoto University, which is, it was easier, but it was also a personal choice that I stayed in Kyoto University because, for that reason that they already knew me, like I already had a background with them. And also because I stayed in the same lab. So when at least for my course, you enter a lab on your 4th year. That's where you do your thesis, your undergrad thesis. And usually you stay there until your master's or PhD even. I already had a good relationship with the people in my lab. And I didn't want to start over again.
Right.
Yeah. Funny story. I was not in Japan during my master's degree, my master's program. Right before I graduated, my undergrad was March. My graduation was in March 2020. So 3 weeks before that, I said after I submit my undergrad thesis, I will take a vacation for 3 weeks before my graduation on March 24, 2020. I went back to Manila, and then on the day of my flight, March 16th, the country locked down. So I got stuck in Manila. I attended my graduation online, and then I started master's online. Thankfully, at that time, all of our classes were online because it was the pandemic.
Right.
So from April 1st, I started school. Online classes. That was difficult, honestly. It was really hard because I didn't have time to process everything. I can't say, obviously, no one's gonna get that same experience.
Right.
So, yeah, it was hard. But then, honestly, what I was thankful for were the professors. My professors, everyone was so accommodating. Obviously, they had no choice also, right? They can't force me to go because while I was there, my visa also expired. So when Japan started opening up, I couldn't enter either because the embassy was not yet open in the Philippines.
Oh my
So I couldn't get a new visa.
And you had to apply for COE and all of that?
Yeah, I had to apply for the entire.
again.
I had to go through the entire process of getting the certificate of eligibility until I eventually came back a week before my graduation.
Oh my gosh, who would have known, right?
So I did my entire master's
online
in the Philippines, But I was enrolled here. So every week I did have like weekly meetings with my professors. We do have this thing called in Japan called Zemi. So it's like a lab meeting where everyone presents the progress of their research. I was like, everyone was there physically, but I was there online in spirit. Also, all of our parties, I was there in spirit because they would have me on a laptop and I would just be there at the side. Our lab pictures, there would be like everyone in the room and then there's one person on their laptop.
It's you! Lab, me. Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, so that's a very unique master's experience.
I don't think anyone has to worry about that. Job hunt.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So this is one thing also that I'm very thankful for. Like my professor was the one who helped me find my job now, and that's why I'm like putting like strong emphasis on your relationships with the professors, like not just your not colleagues, like your classmates, but also your professors, the people who can actually help you with your next step in your career.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So my professor did ask me if I wanted to continue with my PhD, and then I said no.
You're like, bye, I'm done.
I'm done with research for now. I said at that time that maybe I wanted to work in the Philippines, but I'm okay also with working in Japan. But I wanted to focus on a company that had projects in the Philippines. That was my priority. Like from the very, very, very start, that was my priority. And then he came back to me and then he said, okay, I found a company for you. And now I'm going back to Manila.
And this was her plan all along, guys. So I guess really it's just choosing the right school and staying there and building a network because it can open so many other doors for you.
I think part of it was really luck, but then a lot of it was hard work too, I would say. So I think obviously like from the master's opportunity that I got to enter the university, like for master's without even taking the exam, that was step one also of proving to my professors that I'm worth, you know, helping.
Investing in, yeah, for sure.
It doesn't really stop at your applications or like when you're trying to look for the university. I think it's like that's another advice that I would give, is just to continue.
Keep showing up.
Yeah. Compared to Manila, of course, Japan is more expensive.
Right.
But then if you're looking at international universities, Japan is really cheap. The only thing would be the cost of living. It is more expensive here. But if we're talking about the education, then it's not that far.
It's probably even more affordable now given the conversion rate, right?
Honestly.
Like if we're gonna be completely honest.
But they do, that's another good advantage here in Japan, is that they do offer a lot of scholarships. So like at my time, I did get a kind of stipend, but it wasn't a full scholarship. I did get a monthly allowance. I would still advise yes, but you don't have to. But you know, why not? If you want to go to Japan, then most likely
you'll need to.
Yeah. So you can start Duolingo, you know.
Baby steps. Genki 1 and 2, like that.
Yeah. With a Mina no Nihongo.
Mina no Nihongo. Oh my gosh, everyone's favorite. So thank you so much, Miss Bella, for sharing your story from Manila to Kyoto to Tokyo and now back to Manila.
Back to Manila.
So maybe if you guys have any other questions, please leave them down below in the comments section, and hopefully Bella and I can go through them and she can answer anything that you guys want to know. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching and we'll see you next time. Bye!